My wife was cheating and said it meant nothing while betraying our family and home. So I drew the line and won guardianship when her daughter chose me. I, 37 male, never thought I would be one of those guys posting their life drama on here. But here we are. I guess I should start with some background. I grew up in a blue-collar family in Ohio. Dad was a plumber. Mom worked part-time at a grocery store. Nothing fancy, but they taught me the value of hard work. I busted my ass through community college while working nights at a warehouse, eventually got my degree in information technology and landed a decent job at a mid-sized tech company. Nothing crazy, making about $92,000 a year, but it was stable and I was proud of what I had accomplished. When I was 27, I met Jessica, 34 female, at a friend's barbecue. She already had a daughter, Lily, who was 6 years old at the time. She is 16 now. Lily's biological dad was some loser who split when Jessica told him she was pregnant. Never paid a dime in child support. Never even tried to see the kid. Real stand-up guy, right? Jessica worked as a receptionist at a dentist's office, making maybe $38,000. She was struggling as a single mom, living in a crappy one-bedroom apartment where she slept on the couch, so Lily could have the bedroom. I'm not going to pretend it was love at first sight or anything, but we hit it off, started dating, and before I knew it, I was spending most nights at her place, helping with Lily's homework and fixing stuff around their apartment. 8 months in, I suggested we move in together. I had a decent 2-bedroom place, and it just made sense financially. Jessica agreed, and just like that, I became an instant dad. I never formally adopted Lily. Jessica and I got married after 2 years together, but the adoption process seemed expensive and complicated, and Jessica always brushed it off with, "We are already a family. What is a piece of paper going to change?" Over the years, I became Lily's dad in every way that matters. I taught her to ride a bike, coached her softball team, stayed up late helping with science fair projects, and was the shoulder she cried on when middle school drama got too intense. By the time she was 11, she started calling me Dad instead of Mike. Not going to lie, the first time I heard it, I had to excuse myself to the bathroom because I did not want her to see me getting emotional. We were not rich, but we were comfortable. I got promoted a few times, eventually making around $112,000. We bought a modest 3-bedroom house in a good school district. Jessica quit her receptionist job and started selling real estate, though she never really brought in consistent money, maybe $25,000 to $30,000 in a good year. I paid for most of our expenses, but I did not mind. We had our routines, Sunday morning pancakes, movie nights where Lily and I would gang up on Jessica when picking what to watch, camping trips where I would pretend to be afraid of spiders just to make Lily laugh. I thought we were solid. I thought wrong. It was a Tuesday in March when everything went to hell. I came home early from work, had a migraine, and decided to call it a day around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Jessica's car was in the driveway, which was weird since she usually had showings on Tuesday afternoons. I walked in through the garage and heard voices from our bedroom. At first I thought Jessica was on the phone with a client, but then I heard a man's laugh. You know that feeling when your gut knows something is wrong before your brain catches up? Yeah, that. I stood outside our bedroom door for maybe 30 seconds, just listening to my wife giggling like a silly teenager. Then I pushed the door open. There was Jessica in our bed with some douchebag wearing an expensive watch and a just fucking your wife grin. He was probably in his mid-40s, tan, obviously spent more time at the gym than at home with his own family. "What the hell is this?" I said, surprisingly calm considering I felt like my chest was being crushed. Jessica jumped up, pulling the sheet around her. "Mike, what are you doing home?" Like I was the one who had done something wrong. Classic Jessica. "Who is this?" I asked, nodding at the guy who was now scrambling for his clothes. "This is, David. He's a client." "A client?" I repeated. "So what? You are screwing him as part of the closing costs now?" David had the audacity to extend his hand. "Look, man, I did not know she was. Save it." I cut him off. "Just get the hell out of my house." He grabbed the rest of his stuff and bolted. Smart move on his part. Once he was gone, Jessica started with the excuses. "Mike, it is not what you think. It is just a physical thing. It does not mean anything." "How long?" I asked. She hesitated. "What do you mean? Do not play dumb. How long?" She looked down at her hands. "A few months. A few months." While I was working overtime to pay for the bathroom renovation she insisted we needed, while I was driving Lily to and from softball practice because Jessica was too busy with clients, my wife was screwing some rich asshole. "Is he the only one?" I asked. Her silence told me everything. "Jesus Christ, Jessica, what about Lily? Did you ever think about what this would do to her?" Jessica rolled her eyes. "Oh, do not bring her into this. This has nothing to do with Lily. That is when something snapped in me. This woman who I had supported for 10 years, who I had helped raise her child, who I had given everything to, could not even show an ounce of remorse. "Pack your shit," I said. "I want you out of this house." She laughed, actually laughed, and said, "This is my house too. You cannot kick me out." "Watch me," I replied, and walked out. I called my buddy Craig, who is a lawyer, and explained the situation. He told me to document everything and not to leave the house, since that could be seen as abandonment in divorce proceedings. So, I moved into the guest room and started making plans. Lily was at a friend's house for a sleepover that night, so she did not witness the initial blow-up. Thank God for small mercies, I guess. Word travels fast in our neighborhood. By the end of the week, everyone knew Jessica had cheated. She did not even try to hide it. Suddenly, David was picking her up in his BMW, and she was staying out late, coming home drunk, basically acting like a college student instead of a 44-year-old mom. I filed for divorce the day after I caught them. Jessica seemed almost relieved, like she had finally been freed from some terrible burden, also known as being my wife. Apparently, she did not fight the divorce. She just wanted half of everything, including the house that I had put the down payment on with my savings before we even met. The hardest part was telling Lily. I sat her down the weekend after I found out and tried to explain what was happening in age-appropriate terms. "Your mom and I are going through some difficult things right now, and we have decided it would be best if we separate." Lily, being 16 and not an idiot, immediately asked, "Is Mom cheating? Is that why you guys are splitting up? Kids these days, man, they see right through the bullshit." I hesitated but decided she deserved the truth. "Yes, she has been seeing someone else." Lily did not seem shocked, which surprised me. "I kind of figured," she said. "She has been acting weird for months, always on her phone, smiling at texts, making up excuses to go out." So, my teenage stepdaughter noticed the signs before I did. That stung. "I am sorry, Lily. I know this is tough. Are you leaving?" she asked, and the fear in her voice broke my heart. "No, kiddo. I am not going anywhere." After that, things got messy. Jessica started bringing David around like it was no big deal. She introduced him to Lily as her special friend. Lily, being a normal teenager with a functioning moral compass, wanted nothing to do with him. One night, about 3 weeks after I discovered the affair, I overheard them arguing. "You could at least try to be nice to him," Jessica snapped at Lily. "Why should I?" Lily fired back. "He helped destroy our family." "Do not be so dramatic," Jessica said. "Your father and I were having problems long before David came along." "Mike is my dad," Lily corrected her. "And that is bullshit. You guys were not having problems. You just got bored and decided to screw around instead of being an adult and talking about it." I had to stop myself from cheering. My kid was smarter than both of us. Jessica grounded Lily for disrespect, which only made things worse between them. Lily started spending more time in the guest room with me, watching movies on my laptop, or just talking about her day. It felt like we were the united front and Jessica was the outsider. Then about 2 months into this nightmare, Jessica dropped another bomb. She and David were getting serious, and she wanted to move in with him. Oh, and she expected Lily to come with her. Lily flat out refused. "I am not living with you and your affair partner," she told Jessica. "I want to stay with Dad." Jessica lost it. "He is not your father. When are you going to get that through your head? You are my daughter, and you will live where I say you will live." That night, Lily came to my room in tears. "Please do not make me go with her," she begged. "I want to stay with you." I held her while she cried and promised I would figure something out. I had no idea if I could legally keep her, but there was no way in hell I was letting Jessica drag her into her new life with David, if that is not what Lily wanted. The next morning I called Craig again and laid out the situation. He was straight with me. "It is complicated," he said. "You never formally adopted Lily, so legally you do not have parental rights, but at 16 the courts will take her preferences into account. If she is adamant about staying with you and can articulate why living with Jessica would be detrimental to her well-being, you have got a shot." I asked what our next step should be. "Document everything," he advised. "Every time Jessica brings David around, every argument, every time she neglects Lily or puts her own interest first, and get Lily into therapy. Having a professional who can testify to her state of mind and preferences will help your case." I took his advice. I started keeping a detailed journal of Jessica's behavior, the nights she did not come home, the times she missed Lily's school events because she was with David, the arguments. I found Lily a therapist, a no-nonsense woman named Dr. Chen, who specialized in adolescents dealing with family trauma. Meanwhile, Jessica was getting pushier about Lily moving with her. David's house has a pool, she told Lily. Like that would somehow make up for everything. And your room would be twice the size of your room here. Lily was not swayed. I do not care if he lives in a mansion. I am not going. Jessica changed tactics, trying to paint me as the bad guy. Mike is just using you to hurt me, she told Lily. Once the divorce is final, he will move on and forget all about you. You are not his real kid, you know. That was the comment that pushed Lily over the edge. She came to me more determined than ever. I want to live with you permanently, she said. I do not care what we have to do. I am not living with her. I knew then that I would fight like hell to keep her regardless of the cost. We started looking into guardianship options. Craig introduced me to a family law specialist who thought we had a decent case for me to become Lily's legal guardian, especially since I had been her primary caretaker for most of her life, and she was old enough to have a say. Then Jessica found out what we were planning, and all hell broke loose. Jessica showed up at the house one evening, completely unhinged. She had clearly been drinking, her eyes wild, makeup smeared. She started pounding on the door around 9 o'clock in the evening, screaming loud enough for the whole neighborhood to hear. Open this fucking door right now. I opened it, if only to stop the noise. What do you want, Jessica? She shoved past me into the house. Where is she? Lily, get down here. Lily appeared at the top of the stairs looking terrified. Mom, pack your shit. Jessica spat. You are coming with me now. I stepped between them. She is not going anywhere, especially not with you in this state. Jessica got in my face, jabbing her finger into my chest. You think you are so fucking smart, do not you? Filing for guardianship behind my back. She is my daughter, mine. You are nothing to her. That is not true, Lily said, her voice shaking. Dad is more of a parent to me than you have ever been. Jessica whirled around. Do not you dare call him that. Your real father is a deadbeat who wanted nothing to do with you. And this one will be the same once he does not need you to hurt me anymore. I had never seen Lily look so wounded. Get out, I told Jessica quietly. Now, before I call the cops. Go ahead, she challenged. Tell them I am trying to take my daughter from a man who has no legal right to her. I pulled out my phone and dialed 911. What are you doing? Jessica demanded, calling the police to report an intoxicated, aggressive woman who is terrorizing a minor. I replied, dead calm. That got through to her. Jessica had a DUI from years ago before we met. Another alcohol-related incident would not look good for her. This is not over, she hissed, backing toward the door. Not by a long shot. After she left, Lily collapsed into my arms, sobbing. I hate her, she choked out. I hate her so much. I know, kiddo, I said, holding her tight. But we are going to get through this. I promise. The next day, Jessica's lawyer sent a formal letter demanding that Lily be returned to her mother's custody immediately. Craig advised us to comply temporarily. Fighting a direct custody order could hurt our case, but Lily was having none of it. I am not going, she insisted. If you make me go with her, I will just run away and come back here. I knew she meant it. We accelerated our legal plans. We filed for emergency guardianship, citing Jessica's erratic behavior, alcohol use, and Lily's adamant refusal to live with her mother. The hearing was set for the following week. In the meantime, Jessica tried everything to get Lily to change her mind. Bribes, guilt trips, even threats. Nothing worked. If anything, it just confirmed to Lily that she was making the right choice. The night before the hearing, Lily came to my room looking nervous. What if the judge says I have to go with her, she asked. Then we will appeal, I promised. We will keep fighting until you are 18 if we have to. She nodded, then said something that nearly broke me. You are the only real parent I have ever had. No matter what happens tomorrow, I will not forget that. The courtroom was cold and sterile. Nothing like the dramatic TV courtrooms you see in movies. Jessica showed up with David, both dressed like they were heading to a country club. Her in a cream-colored designer dress that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage payment. Him in a tailored suit with that same damned expensive watch. Lily and I were more subdued. She wore a simple blouse and skirt. I wore the same suit I had worn to our wedding. Seemed fitting somehow. Jessica barely looked at Lily, instead whispering and giggling with David, like they were at a social event rather than a custody hearing that would determine her daughter's future. The judge, an older woman with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense demeanor, did not seem impressed. Our lawyer presented our case first. How I had been Lily's primary caregiver for 1 decade, how Jessica's affair and subsequent behavior had created an unstable environment. How Lily was adamant about staying with me. Dr. Chen testified about Lily's anxiety and depression stemming from Jessica's actions, and stated unequivocally that forcing Lily to live with Jessica would be detrimental to her mental health. Then it was Lily's turn to speak. She stood tall, her voice only shaking slightly as she described how she felt betrayed by her mother. How Jessica seemed more concerned with her new relationship than with Lily's well-being. How she felt safe and stable with me. Jessica's lawyer tried to paint me as a controlling, vindictive ex who was poisoning Lily against her mother. He brought up the fact that I had no biological or legal tie to Lily, suggesting that my interest in guardianship was just a way to hurt Jessica, or avoid paying as much in the divorce settlement. Then Jessica took the stand, and that is when things really went off the rails. At first, she played the devastated mother routine perfectly. Tears, trembling voice, the works. She claimed she had made a mistake with the affair, but was trying to create a stable, blended family with David. She said I was manipulating Lily, filling her head with lies, but then our lawyer started cross-examining her. Ms. Harris, can you tell the court how many of Lily's school events you have attended in the past 3 months? Jessica hesitated. I have been busy with work and personal matters. So, none. I would not say none. The school records indicate you have not signed in for any event since February. Mr. Taylor has attended all of them. Is that incorrect? Jessica's face hardened. I have been going through a difficult transition. And during this transition, who has been taking Lily to her therapy appointments? Mike has. And who has been helping her with college applications? Mike. But I have been. In fact, is not it true that since your separation you have spent an average of 3 nights per week at Mr. Bradford's residence, leaving Lily alone with Mr. Taylor? Jessica's mask slipped. She is 16, not 6. She does not need constant supervision. Our lawyer nodded. One last question. Can you tell the court why you believe it would be in Lily's best interest to live with you instead of the man who has been her primary caregiver for the past 1 decade? Jessica's eyes flashed with anger. Because she is my daughter. I gave birth to her. Mike is nothing to her. Just some guy I married who is trying to take what is mine. The courtroom went silent. Lily flinched like she had been slapped. Even Jessica's lawyer looked pained. Our lawyer simply said, "No further questions." When it was time for closing arguments, Jessica's lawyer did his best to damage control, emphasizing the biological connection and parental rights. Our lawyer focused on Lily's well-being and best interests, arguing that stability and emotional health should outweigh biology. The judge took a short recess before delivering her ruling. Those 20 minutes were the longest of my life. When she returned, she looked directly at Lily before speaking. In family court, our primary concern is always the best interest of the child. In this case, we have a young woman, nearly an adult, who has clearly and consistently expressed her preference. We also have substantial evidence that her biological mother has at best been inconsistent in her parenting responsibilities and, at worst, prioritized her own interests above her daughter's well-being. Jessica started to protest, but her lawyer shushed her. While biology is a factor in custody decisions, it is not the only factor, nor even the most important one. More relevant is who has provided day-to-day care, emotional support, and stability. The judge adjusted her glasses and continued. I am granting temporary guardianship of Lily Harris to Michael Taylor for a period of 6 months, after which the court will reassess the situation. During this time, Miss Harris will have supervised visitation rights at the discretion of the guardian and minor. Jessica shot to her feet. This is bullshit. You cannot give my child to a man who is not even related to her. The judge's expression hardened. Miss Harris, control yourself or I will hold you in contempt. My decision is based on what I believe is best for your daughter at this time. If you wish to regain custody, I suggest you use these 6 months to demonstrate that you can prioritize Lily's needs above your own. Jessica stormed out, David trailing behind her like a well-dressed puppy. Lily collapsed against me in relief, and I held her while she cried, happy tears this time. Outside the courtroom, we ran into Jessica in the parking lot. She was furious, her face blotchy with anger. You will regret this, she spat at me. Both of you will. Lily, who had been quiet most of the day, suddenly found her voice. Just stop, Mom. This is your fault, not ours. If you had even once put me first, maybe things would be different. Jessica's expression changed, something calculating entering her eyes. You think he cares about you? He just wants to hurt me. Once the divorce is final, he will move on and find someone new, someone without a teenager as baggage. I put my arm around Lily's shoulders. Let us go home, kiddo. She is not worth it. As we walked away, Jessica called after us. This is not over. I will get her back. And when I do, you will never see her again. I did not look back. I just held Lily closer and kept walking. The 6 months after the court hearing were surprisingly peaceful. Jessica moved in with David and seemed almost relieved to be free of parental responsibilities. She showed up for exactly 2 supervised visits with Lily, both of which ended with her storming out when Lily refused to agree that I had brainwashed her. Meanwhile, Lily and I settled into our new normal. She started her senior year of high school, got accepted to 3 colleges, and even started dating a nice kid from her advanced placement physics class. I finalized the divorce, giving Jessica more than she deserved in the settlement just to be done with her. The house was mine. I bought her out, and more importantly, Lily was staying with me. The court made my guardianship permanent after the 6-month review, citing Jessica's lack of effort to rebuild her relationship with Lily. Jessica did not even bother to show up for the hearing. Life was good. Then, about 8 months after the divorce was finalized, Jessica called me out of the blue. "Mike, we need to talk," she said, her voice missing that entitled edge I had grown so accustomed to. She sounded desperate. "About what?" I asked, instantly on guard. "Can we meet somewhere, please?" Curiosity got the better of me, and I agreed to meet her at a coffee shop downtown. When I got there, I almost did not recognize her. Gone were the designer clothes and perfectly highlighted hair. She looked like she had aged 10 years in less than 1. "What happened to you?" I asked as I sat down. She looked down at her chipped nail polish. "David left me. I could not help it." I laughed. "Let me guess. He cheated." She nodded miserably. "With his ex-wife. They are back together. He kicked me out." "That is unfortunate," I said, feeling exactly zero sympathy. "But I do not see what it has to do with me. I need a place to stay," she said quietly, "just until I can get back on my feet. I lost my job, and David, he controlled all the money. I did not even have my name on the lease." I stared at her dumbfounded. "You want to move back in with us?" "Not permanently," she said quickly, "just for a few weeks, and maybe it would give me a chance to reconnect with Lily." "No," I said simply. "What? No, you cannot stay with us. You made your choice when you decided to screw around behind my back for months. You made another choice when you tried to force Lily to live with you and your affair partner. And you made yet another choice when you showed up for exactly 2 visits in 6 months. But I am her mother," she protested, that familiar entitled tone creeping back into her voice. "Biologically, yes. In every way that actually matters, no. You gave up that right." Her face crumpled. "Please, Mike, I have nowhere else to go. My parents will not take me in. My sister's place is too small, and I spent all the money from the divorce settlement on what? Trips with David, a new car, clothes." She looked away. "He said he would take care of me. That was rich. The money that should have been providing for Lily's future had been blown on vacations with the guy she cheated with." "I need your help," she said, reaching for my hand across the table. I pulled it away. "What you need," I said carefully, "is to face the consequences of your choices for once in your life." She started to cry, big dramatic tears that would have moved me once upon a time. "Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do?" I stood up, tossing a few dollars on the table for my untouched coffee. "Not my problem." "Wait," she called as I turned to leave. At least talk to Lily for me. Tell her I want to see her. Tell her I am sorry." I looked back at her. This woman I had once loved, now pathetic and broken by her own terrible decisions. For a brief moment, I felt a flicker of pity. "I will tell her you want to see her," I said, "but the decision will be hers, and do not be surprised if she says no." That night, I told Lily about the meeting. I did not sugarcoat Jessica's situation, but I did not gloat either. Lily listened quietly, then asked, "What do you think I should do?" "That is entirely up to you, kiddo. If you want to see her, I will not stop you. If you do not, that is okay too." Lily thought about it for a long time. "I will meet her once," she finally decided, "but not alone, and not at our house." I arranged the meeting for the following weekend at the same coffee shop. Lily was quiet on the drive there, fidgeting with the hem of her shirt. "Nervous?" I asked. "A little," she admitted. "I have not really talked to her in almost 1 year. You do not have to do this if you do not want to." She shook her head. "No, I need to. For me, not for her." Jessica was already there when we arrived. looking even more disheveled than she had at our meeting. When she saw Lily, her face lit up with hope. "Baby," she cried, standing to embrace her. Lily stiffened but allowed the hug. "Hi, Mom," she said, her voice carefully neutral. We sat down and for a while, Jessica just asked Lily about school, friends, college plans, acting like she had been an involved parent all along. Lily gave short, polite answers, not offering any more information than necessary. Finally, Jessica got to the point. "I have made a lot of mistakes," she said, eyes welling up. "I know that now. I should have been a better mother to you. I should have appreciated what we had as a family." Lily nodded but did not speak. I am hoping we can start over," Jessica continued. "I want to be part of your life again. I want to make things right." "Why now?" Lily asked, cutting right to the heart of it. "Because David left you? Because you need something from us?" Jessica flinched. "That is not fair." "Is not it, though?" Lily pressed. "You did not care about making things right when you were happy with David. You did not care about being part of my life for the past 1 year. What changed, Mom, other than your circumstances?" Jessica looked to me for help, but I just sipped my coffee. This was Lily's show. "I have always loved you," Jessica insisted. "Maybe," Lily conceded. "But you did not prioritize me, ever. Dad did, even when you tried to take me away from him. Even when you said horrible things about him, he never stopped putting me first." Jessica's eyes hardened slightly at the word dad, but she controlled herself. "I know, and I am sorry. I really am. I need help right now. I need my family." Lily was quiet for a long moment. Then she reached across the table and took Jessica's hand. "I forgive you," she said softly. Jessica's face lit up with hope. "Really? Oh, baby, thank you. I promise I will do better. I forgive you," Lily repeated, cutting her off. "Because holding on to anger only hurts me. But that does not mean I trust you, and it does not mean I am letting you back into my life." Jessica's smile faltered. "But I am your mother." "You are," Lily agreed. "But that is biology, not a relationship. A relationship has to be earned. It requires trust, respect, and consistency. 3 things you have never given me." "What are you saying?" Jessica whispered. "I am saying that I wish you well, Mom. I hope you figure things out and get back on your feet. But I am not your safety net, and neither is Dad. You made choices that hurt us both deeply, and now you have to deal with the consequences." Jessica's expression crumpled. "Where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do?" Lily shrugged, suddenly looking every bit her 16 years. "That is not my problem." My heart swelled with pride. My kid, because yes, she was my kid in every way that mattered, was stronger and wiser than I had ever been at her age. Hell, she was stronger and wiser than I was now. Jessica turned to me, desperation in her eyes. "Mike, please, for old time's sake, just let me stay for a few weeks." I looked at Lily, deferring to her judgment. She gave a small, almost imperceptible shake of her head. "No," I said simply. "We have both moved on, Jessica. You should too." We left her there, sobbing into her coffee. As we walked to the car, Lily slipped her hand into mine like she used to do when she was little. "You okay?" I asked. She nodded. "Yeah. For the first time in a long time, I really am." I later heard through mutual friends that Jessica ended up moving in with a coworker, then bouncing between temporary arrangements before finally moving to another state to live with a cousin. She occasionally sends Lily text messages on holidays or her birthday, which Lily sometimes answers politely but briefly. As for us, we are doing great. Lily is thriving in college now, studying engineering. I am dating again, taking it slow with a nice woman I met at a work conference. She understands that Lily will always be my priority and she respects the bond we have. Sometimes I think about how close I came to losing everything. How if I had not fought for Lily, if she had not been brave enough to stand up to her mother, our lives would be completely different now. Jessica's affair was the worst thing that ever happened to me until it led to the best thing, the unbreakable bond between me and my daughter. Biology does not make a parent. Love, sacrifice, and showing up every day. That is what makes a family. And no piece of paper or DNA test can ever change that. Sorry for the novel. Guess I needed to get this off my chest more than I realized. If you have read this far, thanks for listening to my story. Edit, holy shit. This blew up overnight. Thanks for all the awards and supportive comments. To answer some common questions. 1. Yes, Lily is still in contact with Jessica. But it is minimal. She sets firm boundaries and does not let herself get manipulated. 2. No, I never got child support from Jessica. I could have pushed for it, but honestly, it was not worth the hassle. I make enough to provide for Lily without it. 3. To the people asking if I have considered legally adopting Lily, even though she is almost an adult now. Yes, we have discussed it. She wants to make it official after she turns 18, which is her choice to make. 4. And to the guy who messaged me saying I should have given Jessica one more chance, buddy. I gave her 10 years of chances. I am good.